All right, guys, I'm going to do another Memory Master meeting because I felt like last week was kind of scatterbrained and quick. So the first thing you need to do is go to our website and print off the Memory Master Guide, the Memory Master Parent Packet, and in the Memory Master Parent Packet at the very end are the Cycle 2 Memory Master proof sheets, which look like this. Okay, so this is what will travel around with your student to the different proofs for each piece of memory work to be checked off. Okay, at each proof. So that's the first thing you need to do, and you need to read both of these pretty thoroughly. Okay, so spend some time doing that. Okay. The proofing needs to begin around week 21, and a student can typically do about 2 per week if they want to. They just, like, the director proof is going to be the week of week 23. So the proofs are going to take place between week 21 and week 23, and there's 4 proofs including the director proof. So that's 1 to 2 a week. You can decide when those will be. On this little sheet that I gave everyone, it reminds you that the parent proof is 100% mastery with, it's 100% of the material with 3 misses per subject allowed. The other adult proof is 100% of the material with 1 miss per subject allowed. The tutor proof is 100% of the material with 0 misses. And the director proof is 25% of the material with 0 misses. The other adult it could be the other parent in the home. Better yet, it would be another CC parent who knows how to ask these things, and when they read these instructions would know what that meant, and would really adhere to this. So ideally, it'd be another Memory Master mom, but if not, like technically any other parent can do it. You're just going to need to probably have them watch this video and make sure that they're following this very closely, and understand especially what a miss is. And these documents, the Memory Master Parent Packet and the Memory Master Guide, also go into what is a miss. So you need to really read those and notice my notes. So notes about misses. Things that are misses would be messing up a date, messing up a name, any kind of numbers, missing those, or leaving them out, or totally saying them incorrectly, leaving out a word that changes the meaning of something, leaving out or changing a word that changes the meaning of the piece of memory work. That would be a miss. Okay. Any other words that are changed is not a big deal as long as it doesn't change the meaning. So that's mostly going to be articles like a's, ands, these. If those get left out, that's not a huge deal, but we really want to make sure, like the point is that we want what they have memorized to be the correct information. So even if it's not the identical words, we want it to be the correct information. Interchanging words like states, explains, says, things like that, especially you find those in the science work like Newton's laws and the laws of thermodynamics. It's fine. Those can be interchanged. It doesn't matter. If a student catches themselves and corrects themselves before you can, absolutely that is not a miss. That is totally fine. If they rattle it off and they made a mistake, you would say, let's try that again. And you'd say the prompt again and give them another chance. You're not going to say, you messed up the date there, or that was the wrong name. You're not necessarily going to tell them what was wrong, but you're going to ask them again and give them a chance. That they will know that will be their indication that they made a mistake and then they need to do it again. Repeating the last few correct words is fine for the timeline. That really doesn't apply anywhere else. It's really just in the timeline. As they are reciting the timeline, if they make a mistake, just go ahead and stop them and say, start again at. Or stopping them, they might immediately correct themselves, and then they can just keep going. That's fine. Because we're going for mastery, not perfection, if we get to the tutor proof and a child is messing up a date, a name that they have never missed before, and you would know that because you've talked to the mom. We'll talk about that in a minute. It is fine for the tutor to give a little bit more grace and a little bit more tries to let that kid really find that information in their brain, especially by the tutor proof. If they have just sailed through the other proofs, if they actually make a mistake in the tutor proof, it could really throw them off, which can kind of affect your memory for a little bit. So we're going to have grace for that, and we're going to give those kids a chance to really pull those out if they have not struggled with that in the past. So that's where this can be really handy. As you're going through the proofs and you're marking things, by the way, you can just do you can ask all the questions for one entire subject and then go mark the ones that they got right and wrong after that. You don't need to be doing this every moment in between. But when they get to the tutor proof, if I can see that they have, let's go to something besides math, science. If I can see that they missed what are some parts of the food chain, if I can see they missed that in the parent or the adult proof and they get to the tutor proof and they're missing it again, that says that they have not mastered that piece of information. But if I can see that they've gotten that every time and then they miss it with me, the tutor, then I can say, probably they're just nervous or they need to really pull it out of their brain. So you're going to give a little bit more grace to allow them to pull that out of their brain. Okay, if a student is truly a master, then a proof should only take them 1.5 to 2 hours. It's reasonable to expect they would get faster with each proof as their confidence grows and as they just master saying all the information at once. What we're looking for is, even if kids are nervous, we're looking for confidence and success and ease in how they deliver the information, okay? A kid who's sitting there with every single one and saying, if that's happening frequently, that's not a master, unfortunately. We're really looking for quick responses, no hesitations. Of course, there might be the occasional hesitation, but we're looking for more often than not for there to be the confident answers. You can be confident and nervous at the same time, but the confident, quick, successful, effortless answering. Of course, hesitation is not a miss. You're not going to count a child wrong because they hesitate or because they linger. We're not going to do that. It's just that if you saw a kid doing that a lot, you're going to have a rough proof. Okay, so before the tutor proof and before the director proof, parents should have a conversation with the tutor to discuss how the proofs at home have been going. A conversation might be something like, he has been doing awesome. He's not missing anything. He knows this information. I don't expect any trouble. Or you might say, he's doing great, except the days of creation, he always gets days 1 and 2 flip-flopped. Or those cubes in math, there's just one number he just always gets wrong. Those are the kind of conversations you want to have with your tutor so they can be watching for those things, and so that they better know where grace should be applied. And of course, grace is not going to be, if a kid is making a mistake and they just can't ever get there, it's going to be counted as a miss. All right. Parents, you are responsible for making an appointment with your tutor for that proof, so you will need to be contacting them. And it's common for that to happen in the tutor's home, especially if the tutor can get childcare so that their house is empty. But you guys make those arrangements yourself. Okay, so notes on specific subjects. For math, you're going to be using flashcards that go 15 by 15. The director, will be using, and I'm pretty sure the tutors will all be using CC's flashcards. So the deck of cards will be shuffled up. You can do it right in front of the kid if you want, or you can have them pre-shuffled. It's fine. I recommend that you have a timer. that you can set, because I'm putting a time frame on this. I'm saying 10 minutes. They need to be able to do this whole stack front and back in 10 minutes. So the timer can help me know I'm going to face it to myself, not the kid, because I'm not trying to add extra pressure to the kid, but I do want to know kind of how things are going. So I tend to set it in front of me kind of like this so that I can glance at it and know, like, is he on track or is he going really slow? So this is kind of what it looks like when I do it. I just do this. They're answering. I don't make them say 4 times 6. You do not have to do that. They can just say the answer. So they're saying the answer, answer, answer. And then this one's tripping him up, and he's thinking. I'm going to start to move this to the back. I kind of move it slowly. But if he can answer it before I put it away, I count it. Okay? But if I get it back in there, then he's got one more chance to get it right. And if they pass, fine. I let them pass about once. We are really looking for them to be able to get it on the second try. Again, once you get to the tutor proof, if you can see that they have not struggled with these in the past and then they're struggling, give them a little bit of extra time. That's fine. We are not looking for kids to guess. Okay, this is not a guessing game. This is a knowing game. This is can I pull out the answer to this from my brain? They can use strategies, but this is all about quickness. So if they're using any strategies besides just knowing the answer, we shouldn't really be able to tell. Those should be happening so fast in their brain that you would think they're just knowing the answer. Do you see what I'm saying? So if they're, okay, that's fine. I think you understand. So that is multiplication cards. If the child is 9 years old or less, or under, or younger, by the time of proofing, they may skip count the songs. So the tutor would say, tell me the twos. And the child would just need to either sing or say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, and 30. That would be the twos. And you would just go through, bam, 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 through all the numbers, skip counting like that. The squares and cubes can be skip counted by all ages. We're not writing. So for the formulas and things, we're not writing this year. They should be verbally done. If somebody needs an exception to that, please let me know. I'm going to say we generally need to orally recite those. Okay, in science, all of those lists, they can be given out of order. It does not matter what order the lists are in. History. I'm just hitting some highlights. I'm looking at this, but I'm hitting some of the highlights that maybe are a little unusual. The songs that CC puts out occasionally add extra words. Those are not required for Memory Master. All that is required is what is in the book. Timeline. They do not have to say the dates that are in the song. They only have to say what is written in the book. And this is a good time to mention. In your Foundations Guide, starting on page 158, these are the sheets that you are going to want to photocopy and use for your proofing, okay? This is going to allow you to go subject by subject, asking them these prompts that are in the gray boxes, and then they're answering. Okay? So for all of these, like week 10 has 4 things. If they miss one, that's a mistake. So that's one mistake. It's like the whole one is wrong. You don't get partial credit. So it goes through everyone. So for timeline, all that's required are the words here. There are no dates in here. It's just the words. That's all that's required. For the director proof, I'm going to randomly pick the start. Like I'm going to randomly pick a week, and they will have to start from that one and go. So I will say, start the timeline from Japan's Heian period, and they will need to continue, and I will cut them off after they've done 6 weeks. So they don't know until they get to my director proof where I'm going to start. So you're going to want to spend, a little bit just practicing that with them. Like go through out of order all the weeks and see, can they start the timeline from that point? Because that is a little bit tricky. It's a little bit trickier to do that. So you're going to want to make sure that you've gone over that with them. Latin, remember that we repeated our Latin We did one thing for 12 weeks, and then we're repeating that thing for the second 12 weeks. So they only have to do it once. For Memory Master, they just have to do these once. Okay, you don't need to ask them twice. All right. I think those are the highlights. Okay, for geography. For geography, you have to use Blackline Masters, which are these black and white maps. So you can use the placemats as long as you cover up all the names of the locations, okay? So all the locations are listed. So you would need to cover those up. So you're allowed to use those. You're allowed to use the trivium table black. So you would bend this back so that all they could see was the black and white. You're allowed to use this. You're allowed to use the big giant maps that CC provided us from Office Depot. You can use those. You can also use the Blackline Masters that are in your guide, starting on page 173. Okay, so you have lots of access to maps, but they would need one of these. And then you would probably want to have a copy of the color one for yourself to be checking and making sure. That's how you're going to know if they're doing the right thing, unless you know 100% of them. But even if you do have this, just to make sure. Just to make sure. But there are proof pages for the geography also. Geography. Yeah. So when you do geography, you will have this as well. And you can just go in order. Now, we don't care about the headings. The headings are just in there really for the weekly meetings, just to kind of group things together. But for Memory Master, we do not care about the headings because in the real world, we just want them to know where these places are. We don't care that they know these headings. These headings are not overly useful in the real world. So we just care about these locations. So you can go through them in order, just like this, just asking. Or you can choose to, just ask everything off the European map and then everything off the world map. It does not matter how you ask, so long as you do half of them where you say, show me Russia. Well, that would be, okay, show me Asia. That's the show me. Show me Africa. And they point. Show me North America. And they point. The other way is you say, what is this? Or tell me. So show me, tell me. So tell me, what is this? What is this? And they're telling you, Asia. What is this? Indian Ocean. Things like that. So show me where you're saying the place and they're pointing, and tell me where you're pointing and they're saying the place. So you're going to do about 50-50 of that. So where you have your, last year I found it easier to basically do that by weeks. I used my proof sheets, and I would ask all of week 1 is show me, and then all of week 2 is tell me, and then all of week 3 is show me, and that way I got them about 50-50, because most weeks they're all approximately the same length, so that gets close enough. But do it however you want, as long as it's about 50-50. I think that is about it. Yeah. Cool. Ask me if you have any questions, please, pretty please. And be in communication. Anything that I've told you rules-wise, if you have issues that are coming up, you need exceptions to the rules, please run that by me as sooner rather than later. But whenever it comes up, please let me know. Thanks, guys.